Hey, this is Gene. I'm going to do something a little bit different. I just watched that game. You're going to see all these big, huge Manchester United fans channels. They're just going to go crazy about what happened today. And I'm just going to give you my own perspective. I think what we saw today was exactly what we saw in Chelsea. I think that Chelsea had the ball in decent positions to score probably three times in the first half against us, and they just got the one goal. And we were fortunate that they didn't score those three goals, even though we played well, had the ball, looked like we were going to score. Uh, the first half tonight was basically the same thing. They got a goal early on, but even after that, we did more and more and more. Now, maybe if Martial wasn't been playing and we had Rasmus in the game, maybe we'd have had more opportunities to score. But there's really no difference in the level that we played. All we did this time is that our individual errors cost us the game. They're going to people are going to come out. People on Stretford Paddock, United Stand, United People's TV. They're going to come out and say that we towned tools. I didn't see that. We were down 1-0 forever, and we had many chances to equalize the game. And then for some reason, Luke Shaw decided to put the ball in the middle of the midfield, and it went back, and he didn't defend his spot. Uh, he got fouled out today, and this is the one thing I want to talk about. He's done very well in that position, helping. Because I don't know why Varane's not playing, but whatever. The coach makes his decisions, and this is what we go with. He got found out a couple times today. I thought Maguire played really well the entire game until at the end that they were going to continually go forward, and we're trying to do what we have to do, and we open ourselves up to their response. But you're going to hear it. You're going to hear it. All these big YouTube channels that have millions and millions of people watching them, and they're going to say the team down tools. I said it to one of the guys I talked to on Twitter. I said that this game looks no different. Basically the same thing we did against Chelsea, but we scored two goals, and they only scored one. The second half against Chelsea, we dominated. We controlled the game, but you saw what we did when we came out the second half. We looked like we were going to score. We didn't do it. Eventually, things happen, and you make an individual error, and this is what happens. So we have two individual errors that led to goals, loses the ball, and then we don't defend on a free kick or a corner kick, which is a free kick, and we lose 3-0. And people are just going to fucking lose their fucking mind today about this. And it's just, to me, it's just one of those games. It happens to every game, every team during the season. It happened at City before. It's happened at Liverpool before. It's not a good timing. And the fact that Bruno, for some reason, I think he wants to not play against Liverpool because he got himself a red card by just talking to the referee apparently. And I think the referee was poor. And once that guy on Bournemouth had a yellow, I think we should have kept going after him, try to get it to a 10 men. But I give a lot of credit to Bournemouth. I think they had a good game plan, but they were not better than us. You can't. We dominated the game. We didn't finish our chances. Way too much. Our guys were selfish and they didn't pass the ball. We did this against Chelsea for a long time too, and until later on in the game, Garnacho actually made a nice pass to McTominay, who scored. There was a lot of opportunities today that people were open, and we decided just to shoot. So, as I say about Shaw, I think he was found out a little bit by a better number 9 on their. They dominate him, and I think Garnacho. It's one of those things you do when you're young like that, and you have that great goal. You want to continually emulate it or make it happen again and again and again. So he takes away the other part of his game that's very important. That when he cracks back and then he can hit that nice little corner or cross, and he didn't do that. Now again, if you don't look at the actual score, we dominated the game. Sometimes this shit happens. All I'm saying is what you're going to see is their head's going to be blown up right this. There's no way we're going to beat Bayern Munich. We're going to go in Anfield and they'll get 7 on us. That might be true. But now Bruno isn't going to play. And so you're going to put probably Manu and Averbat in the midfield. So if we somewhat control that midfield, maybe we have a chance to do something there. We're just a really weird team. We don't draw. I thought today we might draw after they scored early on. It was one of those games, raining, wind everywhere. You're just like, it's one of those hard teams. It's times to win. And as well as we played against Chelsea, they had plenty of chances. That game could have been 7-4, and people don't want to understand that. And then when Ten Hag says it's the way I want to play, well, there is also the antithesis to that is if you lose the ball where you lose it, now you're in a position where they might have a chance to score, and it happened. You can't really blame Shaw or Maguire on that first goal. You can't really do it because once that happens, it's so quick. They were right there, but it was a good pass, and he put it in there. Shaw was the one that started the other goal, and at the end, I mean, that's a good cross, I guess, from the corner kick, and nobody's out there. Whatever, it happens. And that happens when they're up 2-0, and they know that they're the ones that don't have to do anything, so they're not stressful at all. But I might be the only person because all these other people are going to come out here and just be blown up about it. They're going to say, "Oh my God, Ten Hag out," and it's his fault that McTominay played. I mean, Mark Goldbridge will sit there and say it's McTominay's fault that we lost that game today because he's on the field. You can't when you dominate the game as much as we did, and we don't do anything with it when we have the chances to do it, and then the other team does something about it, and we have again this thing that continually creeps into our play is individual errors. This is what's going to happen. This is the same guy that said there's going to be games like this throughout the season that we're going to be battered. Now we didn't get battered. The scoring made us look like we got battered. So here he is. We have it. So why would we be upset about it? This is something that we expect it's going to happen. When you play this type of game and we don't have the right players to play it, this is what happens. And then people get mad at Ten Hag when he says, "Okay, I'm going to do things like Ollie did, or like Van Gaal did to try to get a result," and then you want to get upset for that. You guys need to just chill, see what happens. We have 2 huge games coming up this week. We're not going to be favored in either of them. Just go out there and play the game, and maybe we'll see something. If Mano comes in with Everbat there, we might see something new. And maybe Bruno is a very important person, but he didn't play very well today. So, as far as the outfield players, I thought he was in the bottom 30 of that. So, which is not good. He has to be up at the very top of that. And he had chances to make passes and stuff, and he missed it a couple times. He didn't play a very good Bruno game. There were a lot of things that happened that got him frustrated. Garnacho almost got knocked out. I think that, I don't know what you call there, but he clearly knew what he was doing when he did it. So I thought we played well after they scored. I thought we had chances to score. We didn't do it. This happens in soccer. It just does. They're going to come out and say that these players tamped down tools. That didn't happen. It might have happened for about 5 seconds after they got the third goal. All right. But I didn't see it up to that point. They continually tried. I kept saying to myself, if we just get a score, even if it was a 2-0, I thought if we just get a score, we're going to come back and do something in this game. It just didn't go in. It's one of those games, man. As a supporter of this team for decades, I've seen this happen where we continually try to get something, it just doesn't go in. It's not like how we played in other games and we had no chances to do anything. We were still progressive and going trying to do things. You have to be able to do everything as well. And we still don't have the right players to do this. You still have a guy that's not really a center back playing that position because the guys that we have on the bench aren't really the type of players that we need to play in there. As good as Varane is, I'm not saying that Varane could have stopped what just happened. I don't know that he could have. But the thing is that Shaw, who is supposed to be really good on the ball, makes good passes. He threw the ball right in the middle of midfield. And that can usually come back and can hurt you. And it did. And he tried to get back. He tried to be in position. He tried to do everything he could do. He looked back. He saw them coming over. He did everything he can do. But the guy was bigger, stronger, went up on top of him and put it in. You hope there that maybe the goalkeeper makes a great save. Didn't happen. So we're trying to get the equalizer and that shit happens. that doesn't mean the players are down in tools. I've seen this team when they do it. That wasn't today. So I'll only probably get 100 people to watch this. Just realize that this is not what the issue is. It's not Ten Hag. We have players that are not playing in the right positions. We played a team that's on good form, and they just went in and almost beat Villa, and Villa just beat City. That was a decent team. A team will probably finish the top 8. Bad day, weather-wise. We should do better with that. I don't like when these guys come out and say stuff like this, and then just last couple of days with this whole, women shouldn't talk about soccer in England, and a lot of women are coming out now saying all this stuff, and they're blaming everybody else and blaming Ten Hag, and I'm like a 20-year-old is trying to tell me, or Ten Hag is to blame for what happened. Really, they have no idea. I don't like Jory Barton because he cost us a title, and he plays for teams I don't like, and he's not the greatest person ever, but he's 100% right what he's saying about it, especially when it comes to women's sports or women in the men's sports. That there's a lot of tokenism that's going on, and now that's based on how they look. And I don't want to just say this about the person that I'm talking about on the United Stand. I would just ask her if I don't know how many people actually interviewed for that, but I'm assuming that Mark looked at her and looked at the other applicants and said, well, I want somebody who looks somewhat visually okay. Is they're going to be on video, right? They're going to be on TV. They're going to be on the internet. You would rather have somebody that's somewhat nice looking than other things. And this is the same girl is now saying things to pearly things because she brings out the whole thing that all these women that are in sports they're on Instagram and they're like influencers and they're showing their body online, and she does the same thing. It's like she wants all this attention all the time, and then she wants to also to be able to say, yeah, I can talk about women or men's sports with some sort of expertise, but she doesn't have. I like her passion for Manchester United. I don't always like her takes on what she believes. Some of the things I agree with, but this whole thing, because a man said something, and now you're upset that a man actually says he's had standards and he doesn't want women to do this, and you would do the same thing if it was the other way around. You would support that, and you know how it is. Half the men will simp for her. And I know this is going to a different place, but she's all over Twitter right now saying this is what happened. This is why Ten Hag got it wrong, and I'm like, how would she even fucking know what she's talking about? I mean, seriously, did she get her coaching degrees and stuff? Does she understands how that works? She's a fan just like me, and she's a public figure now, so she has a problem when people actually goes against her and criticizes her, and then she doesn't thinks that women should not be able to be critical of other women. They put that shit all the time. Oh, women going against other women because other women have a different opinion. So I actually responded to her in a couple of things. I said, "What is a woman?" I would love to know what she thinks. I would love to know if she thinks that a biological man should play in women's sports. Because if we're going to talk about stuff that really means something, just because a former player that was just mid when it comes to a player says he has a problem with women that don't really have any experience or expertise commenting on the game in the studios or on the sidelines or in the press box, and he doesn't like it, and then he basically says most men don't like it, and I'll just tell you, I don't like it. I don't like it here in the NFL. I don't like hearing women on there, and they don't understand the game. Now, some do, right? Not many. And you can always have exclusions to that. You can say this person's really good at it. Judy Foudy is good when it comes to soccer, and she does it well when she calls the men games in the MLS, and she's good at it. But it's very few and far between. And we're not seeing those type of women in those type of positions. We're seeing influencers, people that look good, people that are like almost Instagram models that are in this position. That's what he's talking about, and the tokenism that is. He's not talking about people that are actually great athletes that play for the women's game, and they have some sort of knowledge of it, and they have some sort of they can actually talk about it with some sort of knowledge. But we also understand that the game is totally different. But anyway, I won't stop with that. It's a bad look today. I'm going to go down through the player ratings. Personally, I think Maguire was the man of the match. Still playing really well. He lost the ball a couple times when we're trying to do something when we're down 2 or 3-0. I don't blame him for that. He tried everything. He kept trying to go forward and progressive and all that stuff. He did exactly what his coach wants him to do. He played really well, so he's got to be 7 or 8 for me, and he's the man of the match. It's not even close anywhere else. Shaw, I think he's a 6, maybe a 5.5. When we're trying to get the equalizer, this type of stuff happens. He tried everything to do to come back and defend it, but it ended up being on his side, and it was a goal that pretty much lost the game for us. So I had to put him down a little bit. He tried, but he couldn't do well. Delo, I think he played okay. I think he should have not tried a shot there when we're down 1-0. He should have tried to get back to Rasmus because he needs the fucking goal. I wish McTominay would have done that in Chelsea. He had him wide open when he was trying to go for his hat trick. He had him wide open, didn't do it, and then we lost the game after that. I think he was fine, 6. I don't think any of the players really played bad. Reguilon, I think he played well too, 6. And Beth is saying that it's Shaw or that Reguilon is bad. He's not it. And I'm like, did you watch the first half? Anyway, so I think he was fine, 6 points. I think he played fine. Amrabat lost the ball a couple times. When he's pressured, I think he's got an issue. That worries me against Liverpool. He holds on the ball a little bit too long for me, but that's also the other players are not coming back to the ball. Still the same thing of when we have a throw in, we don't really do anything with that. We lose the ball a lot because nobody comes back to the ball. I'll give him a 5.5 because I think he was part of the reason why the first goal happened. Bruno, I think, is probably his worst game of the year. Probably a 4 for me. And then getting the yellow call at the end, maybe a 3. McTominay didn't do anything. If he's going to do what he's got to do, he has to make those goals or things. He didn't really do anything. And when they had the ball, I never saw him anywhere. So I'll give him probably a 4. So the midfield was probably not the best area for us. And in that area, they didn't play as well as they did against Chelsea. But Chelsea allowed us to play open. And they kind of did too as well. People try to compare the two performances. I thought they're pretty close. I think we're lucky that we only gave up 1 goal against Chelsea, and we could have scored 6 or 7. Tonight, we were unfortunate to give up 3 goals. It probably should be a 2-1 type of game, but we didn't do anything with what our chances were. Up front is probably the issue. I thought Anthony didn't play that well tonight. It was kind of like him and when you put him and Martial in there, I think it's not a good thing. So it's, I'll give him a 5 and I'll give Martial a 5. And Garnacho tried, but I think his IQ needs to be a little bit better. But he tries, so I'm going to give him a 6. And Onana, he couldn't do anything for any of the goals. At the end, he did some stuff and almost led to a goal, but it didn't. And by then, the game was over, so I don't really care. I don't think the subs couldn't do anything. There was a really good chance for about 5 or 6 minutes after Rasmus got on. I thought we were going to score and just didn't do it. And of course, go back when I said Delo had the ball, he didn't give it to Rasmus. So if he scores there, it's 1-1. We probably go and win that game. It's not like they dominated that game. They didn't. If we scored when it was 1-0, I think we come back and win that. I really do. So it's not how the media is going to say that it was a false dawn and all that stuff. It's just if you want us to play, if you want to play so progressive like that, then we're going to leave ourselves open when we lose the ball. So he's trying to satisfy the fans, but at the same time, we have to finish the chances when we have them. And we just didn't today. And this is going to happen until he gets the right players, unless maybe we can't play this position. Or everybody team kind of does it. In the top 6 kind of do this. Until we find the right players to play in the position. We still don't have the right people in the midfield. I mean, this is a team that doesn't have Casemiro there. We don't have Eriksen there. There are things that just shows that we can't really play that way. And I think he thought that he could put Martial up there and hold on to the ball, and we kind of did that, but they scored early in the game. So then we're trying to go forward, and we're bringing guys further and further up, and that opens up stuff elsewhere. But you just can't, they had chances to score in the first half because we lost the ball. So we just didn't hold the ball very well. As much as all the statistics said that we dominated the game, we just hold on to it very as well as we should have. So I think it's one of those games. I hope to God that we just don't get beat up by Bayern and Liverpool. There's probably, of those two teams, are probably two of the best, the top 10 in the world. So it's going to be a challenge. I was just hoping we were going to win today. We would have been at 30 points with 16 games. It would have been a decent return. I was hoping just if it was 1-0 Ollie type of game, I'd have been fine. But we tried to play at home, progressive in it. At the end of the game, it hurt us because we didn't control our errors, and they came back and got us. So, as I said before, got a lot of people with a lot of followers are going to say that it's, oh my God, it's over. This is not that different to that team that played on Wednesday. I'm just saying, from my opinion. You guys have a good day, and we'll talk to you later.